pleased to have you guys join us for the second in a series of programs that we're doing as part of the Recovery Alliance together with Travel Audience. And today we are focusing on Greece. Greece has been at the forefront of driving the recovery in tourism, and the data is looking good. So joining us today is Ioana, the CEO of Marketing Greece, and she's going to be sharing with us some really great insights about their work and how they are really acting and supporting on the recovery process. And also, of course, the Travel Audience team who have been sharing with us some great data. So Veronica and Signa, welcome as well. Let's start off by a quick introduction. So Ioana, tell us a bit about how the situation is in Greece, and of course your role leading Marketing Greece through this period.
Hi from Greece. Actually, 2 words regarding Marketing Greece, which is a very unique case. We are the private sector initiative for supporting tourism. We are collaborating with all relevant players to tourism that, as you know, are too many. I mean the private sector and the public sector as well. Greece appeared to be a leader in handling COVID crisis, and we started trying to recover all the losses related to tourism early in June. In terms of we gradually starting to opening up to different markets, starting June 15, all airports connected to Athens and Thessaloniki, the flights were allowed to take place. And it's a very difficult situation, as you know very well. Very different. Every day we're searching on data, trying to understand what's going on, because of course it's not clear. We see that people are constantly dreaming, and in a way they have invested lots of their time, of course, during the lockdown, but as well when all different countries started to opening up. But this is a totally different question compared to who is traveling. We see that there is, I don't know how to characterize it. I mean, of course, this season's gonna be something like 20% of what we had last year for Greece, which is very unfortunate, as you can imagine, because our economy is based up to 25% on tourism, so the losses are huge. And we're trying to navigate our way out, trying to balancing the hygiene issue and the safety of the local population, of tourists, of people working in tourism, and at the same time trying to recover a bit the losses that we have. And of course, guarantee that our visitors have a very nice experience and safe experience in Greece. I don't know if that was too long. That's a bit, you know, what's going on now.
Yeah, so that's there's some really stark numbers, I think, which just paint the reality of, you know, how strongly impacted the tourism sector is, in particular in Greece, which is so heavily dependent on tourism. So well done for staying strong and the work you're doing there. And I think the industry needs that support more than ever right now. So we'll be coming back to looking at the data and looking at some of the signals and what they're showing us. Veronica, I want to jump over to you. A lot has changed since our last event with Travel Audience, and tell us a little bit about how things are looking from your perspective, which is of course very different.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. I think the need to go digital became a reality. So what we've done together with DTTT in the past, all sorts of face-to-face events, that's no longer the case for now. We had to think of different formats. We have to think of different ways how we can engage with partners, how we can engage with our customers, a new way way of basically reaching out and also supporting our customers. For us, and I think that to some extent also echoes to what Joanna said, adaptability was the key. So we all found ourselves in this new situation in the travel industry. Obviously, we're all coming from different places, but at this point in time when everything started changing, we had to adapt fast. And I would like to put emphasis here on collaboration. I think it's important that we're there to support destinations as travel audience, that we're also working with the likes of your organization, Nick. Now more than ever, it's crucial that we are working together and supporting each other. And I think ahead of us is a time where we will have to rethink travel, and we will have to come up with the ways how travel can recover. So for us to be there with our clients and to support them navigating their way to recovery is something that we really prioritize.
Great. And Signe, from your perspective, obviously you spend a lot of time looking at data. So what can the data tell us in terms of how we can identify and actually work around the needs and desires and interests of travelers right now, and to try and drive that conversion so that, you know, destinations like Greece can really work on tapping into where there is demand and trying to obviously win that customer.
Yeah, certainly. I think with the search data, the big surprising thing has kind of been, well, the travel industry as such seems to have collapsed. Like there's no one traveling. On the other side, when we think about demand and searches, as Iona mentioned as well, we have been in this 2-3 months of the inspirational or dream phase. So the travelers haven't stopped searching. So they're still dreaming and hoping to travel, where the reality is that they're physically not able to. So what has changed in terms of using data for demand is mainly that the patterns that we observe are a bit different. So normally when you would use search data to plan marketing activities, you'd be looking for certain patterns. Let's say a certain market is more interested in this destination, or they're more likely to do weekend trips or so on. And there might be different motivations behind that. What we see now is that these motivations has changed completely. So now we're thinking much more about confidence to travel. So there's a lot of related to fear. We see that there's maybe lower demand for those countries that are more heavily affected. And there's also the convenience to travel. So the ability to travel and their connectivity is directly linked as well. So for example, as soon as France announced that they're launching some international flights, we saw a huge peak in the demand straight away. So it's pretty much the same in the sense that you need to look for patterns, but what we see now that these patterns have changed completely. So the motivations are different, and maybe destinations need to think a bit more about incorporating different data sets as well. So the number of cases, the number of flights, and then see how this is reflected in the search data as well. So certainly a lot of changes also in the way we use data today.
So it's really interesting, actually, looking at how we can look at traditional data that we look at, such as search data, but also marry that together with cases, as you said. I'm not sure how many people are doing that, but it'd be very interesting to marry that data up. So going back to Joanna and looking at how Greece has responded, you've really worked hard on winning the summer tourism in particular, and winning the visitor back as soon as you safely could. How have you started to pick up on some of the recovery signals and started to respond to that?
Actually, we have many sources of information, starting from data that our partners, like travel audience, supply us. Really powerful information, in the sense that, you know, data never lie. And in any case, we always rely on data in order to design our campaigns or our initiative, but especially in this case, that practically the format and the nothing is given, and we need to rediscover the patterns, and we need to rediscover the forms of communication, and how the demand and the supply play out. At this point, apart from our partnerships like Travel Audience, we have a very wide network of people that we are talking to from our side. I mean, from the Greek side, the hoteliers, the airlines, the tour operators, because of the identity of our company. We are a company owned by the Greek Tourism Confederation. We have a very wide network of people we're talking to, so we have real-time information of what's going on the first line. And apart from that, our collaboration with the sister organization of the Greek Tourism Confederation, which is the institute that practically dives into data. And as far as I know, Travel Audience has a collaboration with the institute as well. So actually, we are trying to rediscover how those recovery signals are practically materialized or actually convert into real demand.
So this getting your hands on as much data as possible has really been crucial to understand how the has changed demand. Yeah, and tell us about how you've translated that into campaigns, because I know that you've launched some really strong campaigns. So how has that translated through to the campaigns?
Campaign-wise, we've been active throughout lockdown, and of course till today, trying to keep Greece at the top of the mind during the days of lockdown, and now trying to there are two different goals: build on the brand and build on the success of handling the crisis, and or having some conversion at the end of the day. So we started early enough in the lockdown with the Greek from Home campaign, which was a wide collaboration with the public sector, the Ministry of Tourism, the Greek Tourism, the National Greek Tourism Organization, and Google, trying to keep Greece at the top of the mind of our potential travelers. Then we left this very, let's say, stay safe phase, going into more dreaming and inspirational phase with a series of videos in order to enhance the dreaming part, and trying to leave behind the stay safe part, in the sense, that we feel that at some point it became a bit of an obstacle, if I may. We hope to be more, to give more inspiration to our followers. And then, of course, we launched very early of June, a campaign which practically it was a message from Greece, trying to show what are the attributes of the Greek summer. Greek summer gives us exactly what we need right now, which is being with people we love, being in the nature, connecting with nature, and at the end of the day, feeling free. So these were three values that we underlined. These are very central values of the Greek summer. And it happened to be very timely in terms of the feelings that people had during the lockdown. And now we are moving this campaign on. We are launching more and more content, because the identity of our company, which is a non-for-profit company, of the private sector, gives us many constraints on the budget. So we're trying to mobilize people in the tourism sector to actually give them lots of content and make them use it so that they are part of our media planning. So in some words, that's all.
Great. So the we often focus on data to target and data to convert, but of course data can also inform our creative decisions. It can inform the messaging and the narrative of how we communicate the offer to visitors. And this is perhaps more important than ever right now, because it seems that what the data is showing us is that there is interest, there is a strong desire to travel, but there are many barriers to travel. And so how has your creative message evolved, and how have you used data to understand how to communicate it, in the right style, in the right way, and the right kind of product offering to potential visitors?
Of course, we're always using data and surveys in order to shape our message. Now more than ever, it is needed. Our approach is very pragmatic, in my opinion, and it is based on the situation out there, the fact that we communicated a message that practically showed empathy towards the population that suffers still, in some cases, lockdown. We know that the crisis, the COVID crisis, is picking up more and more, which is, we are in mid-July and still it holds stronger and stronger. So, of course, it is a day-to-day struggle, taking what it really happens out there and trying to shape the message and change it like every, I don't know, 10 or 15 days. We're adjusting the message towards the world.
Yeah, it's great. So being really agile and being able to adapt very quickly when you can read those signals is key. So Veronica and Signa, I don't know if you want to sort of jump in on that and talk a little bit to that ability and that need to read the data and to react and respond with the right messaging as it evolves. Also, specifically on a very granular basis, on a per market basis, this has become really key, because even within Europe, every single market suddenly has quite different needs and needs very, very tailored messaging in a way that we maybe haven't always approached it.
Well, I'll take this one. Maybe Signa, you can add something afterwards. I believe that thanks to advertising and also thanks to this relevant targeting that digital advertising is offering us, we are able to adapt this messaging and really go so much more in detail than by using other channels and ensure that this reassuring message is out there. I think building traveler trust is key. It's something that for us marketeers these days is absolutely essential. So of course people will always dream, as Signa mentioned. People cannot travel, but they will keep dreaming, they will keep searching. Now it's our part to make sure that they're not only feeling inspired, but they're also feeling reassured that the right measures are taken in order to welcome them back. And as Joanna mentioned, it differs for different countries. We are in different stages of recovery, but through data and through messaging, we can really look at relevant markets, we can really look at relevant segments, and we can adapt accordingly that messaging.
Great. So I want to kind of go back to you, Joanna, and ask what have you learned in this period, especially through running the campaigns? You gather so much intelligence when you run a campaign. You see what works, you see what converts, And I guess you have great feedback because your stakeholders, your partners are the industry directly. So they surely also tell you, you know, this is working, or this is what we need right now. So what has been the kind of learnings from the recovery campaign so far?
Yeah, that's an unprecedented period. So it is unprecedented in all fronts, including learning, in the sense that, of course, everything has changed and we need to rediscover all different partners. That's my first point. And the second one is that data-driven marketing is more needed than ever. I have an expression that I use trying to signal and try to explain how important it is to be agile and adjust our strategies. Is practically that we design as we go. We have a general framework, but as we go, we change everything in order to achieve our goals, whatever they are.
Great. I think that's a really key point that everyone can take forward, and whether that's a tourism business that is trying to looking for clarity, where they perhaps have clarity in data, but they don't have clarity in the future, or whether that's a message to the industry. We have to really adapt as we go. So really great insights. Thank you for sharing that with us, Joanna, and thank you to the guys. Travel audience. It's been really great hearing about how committed you are to driving that recovery. But of course, it's a journey. It's not something that will happen overnight.
Yes, it is a journey. Very valid point.
Thank you.